Come your team had so much success against Iowa last year, and how can you continue that this year?
Um, well, in the first game, we shot really well. So I think we just fed off, getting out to a really good start. We made a bunch of threes. Then it just kind of snowballed from there. It was just one of those home games where everything went our way and everything, went against them. We got all the breaks, bounces, ball was going in. And I think you have, a couple of those games every year just happened to be that one. And then at the end of the year, obviously that was a desperately needed win for us. And I thought our guys did a good job of being quick to the basketball, just being aware of what was going on. But it wasn't one of those perfect games for us. Like, you go back and watch it, which I did other day. And we have a lot of breakdowns in that game. We also were very fortunate. They had some looks that they were making pretty consistently throughout the year. When we blow a coverage, they'd end up with an open shot. And then they missed a handful of those that they normally make. Kind of similar to their Gonzaga game. There's Gonzaga was 10 for 15 from three in the first half, but Iowa has some looks that just they normally make, and that game was kind of the same way. We were fortunate a couple of those didn't go down. And then when they didn't, we tried to shrink our defense as much as possible and just be aware of Garza was at all time and be aware where their shooters are. And I think they're a different team this year. Obviously, with Bohannon back, it allows them to keep more skill on the court, experience. And with that being said, they can go a couple different ways. They can go bigger, like they did about half the game with Nunji and Garza against Gonzaga. They can go smaller. They brought Tucson in, and he had 14 and got to the rim and gave him that quickness, that athleticism. But they're a very skilled team, obviously one of the best players in the country, if not the best. And they're just a really tough cover.
How does not only your bigs, but your whole team deal with both Garza's energy level around the basket, but also his ability to step out and shoot?
Well, first of all, you got to play hard. He sprints the floor. He's physical. You have to be able to show your hands and not let him bully you to the basket. He'll just make moves and just physically overwhelm people. So you got to be in legal guarding position to start with. If you're behind or he's got an angle or, you can't move your feet, east and west, he's gonna get to what he wants to get to, whether that's a layup, dunk, post move. If you can't close out as a big guy, he's just going to shoot, or he's going to shoot right over you. Sometimes guys do a good job, and he's still, with that high release and quick release, he can shoot there. So you have to, be ready to play. You got to be in a stance, be able to guard someone on the perimeter, be able to guard somebody inside, and then match, that intensity level, that effort that he brings. He plays very hard. He empties his tank, and that's what we challenge our guys to do. And this is a big challenge. Can you do all those things and not foul him and stay in the game? And there's a lot of people out there that cannot do that. And so this is a big challenge for both of our bigs, but really our team, because if you're not going to stop him, but you can slow him down. I think that's been proven across this league when you've had, great players like Draymond Greens or Evan Turners or Etuan Moore, Juwan Johnson or Jared Sullinger, and those, you weren't stopping those guys, but you can slow those guys down a little bit. You can make it harder on them, or at least make them earn things. Don't give them 14 free throws. Don't let them have 5 point blank layups. Don't let them have putback layups. Don't let them have run out layups. Now just make him earn it. The thing about him is he's so skilled and he'll still earn it. He'll still get it. But make those be his baskets. If he's getting a little bit and having that smorgasbord where he has all those things I just mentioned, it's probably a long night for you for the opposition. Well, I don't know about getting an up and down game with Iowa. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. And I don't know if we got into an up and down game with Notre Dame per se, like when situations created themselves, because they didn't have very many turnovers either. We tried to, push the basketball, but we would do that against anybody. We're going to do that against Iowa. We would do it against any Big Ten team. When you face good teams, your ability to score before their defense gets set is important, but also your ability to recognize that it's not a good shot, and then you got to run offense is important too. So that balance and that understanding because I think it's what it comes to when you're playing any team, especially a team like Iowa, because if you get into this game and you say it's got a high level of possessions, I think that would favor Iowa. And it's not that we're going to walk the ball up the court, because we're not. But we have to have a balance, but we also have to have the understanding of, when to hold them and when to fold them.
What did you learn last year playing against Garza that you have to apply this year?
You just got to come out hitting first. He's a big dude. He gets to his spots. He's hard to guard. So, just as a team, we got to do it collectively. Shut him down as much as possible. We got to come out hitting first. So.
Right. He can obviously step out and shoot threes too. How do you guys have to deal with that from a team perspective? Not necessarily just kind of you and Zach guarding him, but what has to fall in place there if he's making shots?
I mean, it's definitely a team effort. Obviously, a couple of our guards would be switched on them at some point. So, just depending on how coach wants to do it. I don't know if we'll full rotate, or I don't know how, but we'll see in practice today. So,
right.
But at the end of the day, it's a team sport, and it's a team effort from us, and we got to do it collectively. So,
right. You guys had a lot of success against them last year. What was kind of the key to all of that? Why did you have, how come you guys stacked up so well with them?
Just our aggressiveness. They want to stay in the game just like us. So, we were really aggressive. We knew their plays inside and out, and we just got to be prepared the same way, this year. So, going into practice today, try to get the guys going. Everybody has to be locked in, and we just got to be ready to go.
Yeah, they obviously play a pretty up-tempo, pretty offensive-driven, high possessions kind of style. I assume it's your intent to try to stay out of that kind of shootout game, or is it a matter of, trying to beat them at their own game? How do you have to have success against these guys?
I mean, you just got to come out, like I said, just come out hitting first. We're going to treat everybody as a guard. They got a deep bench. Pretty much everybody can shoot the ball. So, yeah. We watch teams play against them, and everybody just lets them shoot. Coach has been harping on, just don't let them shoot the ball. As simple as that. So, like today in practice, I'm gonna try to really lock in, trying to get as much as I can.
I cover Iowa, and no team played better against Iowa last year than you guys did. What were the keys to that, and does it translate to this year?
Like I said before, just knowing what's going on, always seeing the ball, always, knowing what's coming. Coach always says, they're not going to surprise you. They're not going to shock you. So, we just got to be solid and be disciplined, and just guard the ball. So.
Mike, anything else for Trey?
How you guys played up and down on Saturday, is that a style of play that you guys feel comfortable getting into, if it would be the case on Tuesday?
I mean, definitely. It starts on the defensive end. When we get stops, and we guard our man. The game is fun, and we're able to get up and down. That's what we want. We want to get layups. We want to be in transition. But obviously, if we have to run a set play, we got to be able to execute. So.